Hi, it's Meredith Tharapos from RMIT University, and I'm here at Coles Distribution Centre in Melbourne talking to Dave. So Dave, could I get you to introduce yourself, please?
Of course, yes. Hello, great to meet you. I'm Dave Clark and I'm the Head of Safety and Sustainability for Coles Supply Chain.
Okay, thank you, Dave. And Dave, could you tell us a little bit about the automation that's coming from the distribution centres?
Yes, sure. So we have a large warehouse network at the moment today, which is full of ambient, chilled and freezer products. And as we are emerging into a new automated world, we're seeking to grow our network and take advantage of technology and what that brings to our business, not only from a cost and a commercial perspective, but also safety and availability on shelf for our customers. So we've got two types of technology coming into our network. The first type is a automated DC, and we have, or an automated distribution centre. And so we have two of those emerging into our business, and we have partnered with a business called Witron, who provide this solution inside the shed and provide the robotics to automate a warehouse. And so they'll be placed into Brisbane and Sydney initially as our first two locations. And those sheds are a little bit different to what we'll see in the video that we've filmed today. And so the footprint of those facilities is about the same land area and size, but the difference is the vertical structure of the building. So it's about 35 metres tall now. So we're making use and optimising space not only on the X and the Y axis, but the Z axis now as well, so the vertical axis. And that creates opportunities for us, right? So we have far more opportunities for bays, racking and warehousing to have better SKU or SKU availability, and the SKU would be a range or a product that you buy on a shelf today. So we will update our SKU range from about 11,000 products in those sheds currently up to 18,000 in our new automated facilities. So that's exciting for us. Additionally, it helps to reduce manual pick tasks for our pre-existing roles of a DC team member as well. And those roles traditionally had a lot of movements every day that involved manual handling and ensuring that they had the right and correct lifting techniques. So they were bending with the knees and not the back. And to help make sure that we have a safer work environment and less workers' compensation claims that may have flow through from poor safety practices, that's really important that we can use technology to aid the picking and packing tasks for our team members in our warehouses. So that's an important part of the role that technology plays. And finally, as I said before, it creates great availability for our customers at the storefront as well. So we can move fewer, fuller pallets through our network, and there's store-ready pallets that are ready to go straight through from our transport into the back of house area to supermarket and then straight into the aisle, ready for the consumer to see, to provide great availability for them day on day. The second part of our model is a customer fulfilment centre. And so we have partnered with Ocado, and they will be putting in two facilities into our network originally, one in Sydney and one in Melbourne. And so this is an exciting model and slightly different, where we will be using a robotic hive. And once again, it's operating on that 3-axis model, but it is doing a pick-pack solution for our Coles Online home delivery business, specifically for our online customers. And this is really important about making sure that we have speed and scalability to serve an emerging consumer base here. Online sales are growing rapidly year on year, and we need to have the technology to keep pace with consumer demand. We believe the Ocado technology will allow us to unlock that potential and service our customers with speed, passion and pace. Once again, having a roboticised warehouse once again brings and yields the same benefits like we talked about earlier with the Witron automated DCs, but this is a smaller, nimbler organisation, and it will flow through product rapidly to make sure that we can have that customer that clicks through the Coles Online website, and that click to the doorbell arriving at your home happens at the right pace and the right setting and tempo that our consumers expect and demand in the new world. So we're really using technology to unlock future potential for our consumers.
And on what basis do you select the technology? Like, what's the process
sure.
that you go
Yeah,
through?
so we have a large scale, and it's a global RFP process where we go out and it's a request for proposals and tenders to make sure that we have canvassed the market and made sure that the correct suppliers have been evaluated, and they have certain criteria as well that they need to be bringing into our business, and the four big criteria for us are around safety, service, cost and sustainability.
And what about the training process? Like when you introduce new technologies, underpinned by training?
Of course, yes. So even though the warehouses are full of robots and they're fully automated, they will still require a certain number of Coles team members to be at each of those facilities. And additionally, there'll also be engineers that need to come in that have certain skills, whether it's electronics, mechanical or electrical, software. A range of those services will be required, and each of them have a certain value proposition that needs to have a structured training program that supports it. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are future-proofing our operations to have the right training, to have the right talent ready to go. And this is only for two things. One is to make sure that they are fully trained for when our operations are in ideal state or steady state, but also what do we do when we have a bad day? And we need to be realists, right? So not all operations are smooth and steady every day, and we live in the real world. And what do we do with our training to set our team up for success when they have a sense of urgency? And there may be a sense of tension, and healthy tension is okay around time pressures and getting productivity back to where we need it to be. And they need to default to very structured and purposeful training behaviours that we've empowered our team to be able to deliver when times are good, or also when times are reactive.
So that thorough training process is critical. And then tell me some of the challenges involved with implementing new technology.
Yes, sure. So some of the big challenges, the big two, which are very front of mind, especially for shareholders and also for our own business, including executives, are around timeliness to schedules and market expectations. So if you put a date out into the market, then you need to deliver upon that date. It sounds so silly when you say it, but so many organisations can falter on that first topic. The second one, which is very, very important, is managing cash flows and to make sure that we're hitting our budget and CapEx. So we've got some weighted average costs of capital that we're all emerged to and need to make sure that we're managing. We've set our balance sheets and gone and sourced equity to make sure that we can invest into these new programs of technology, and we need to make sure that we're delivering on our expectations around budgets and not blowing out significantly because that's not a good successful technology rollout if that occurs. I think the other things to be mindful of is making sure that we don't lose sight of what the original objectives were. And for us, it's about making sure that we're sustainably improving the lives of consumers in Australia every day. And how do we make sure that we do that with timely service, food that is of human consumption, so it's not adversely affected by food safety concerns or anything like that, and they're getting the right meal at the right time when they ordered it and to the right location with the right delivery and with the right human interaction that delivers that with a smile. So I think those are the type of things that we need to be mindful of. There's some heavy hitters at the start, but then there's also the transactional business priorities that we shouldn't lose sight of as well.
So there's quite a process involved where you look at the financial data and the capital budgets and the management of that process, but then also consideration of the non-financial factors.
Correct.
And both of those underpin the decision about the implementation of technology.
Correct, yeah. And just to piggyback further off your excellent comments there, it's also around our service to market and our presence about operating in the public areas as well, and consumer confidence. So if we have a Coles Online home delivery van that's delivering from one of our new facilities we just spoke about, we want to make sure that we've upskilled our drivers to be on the right route, going to that consumer to reduce emissions, to reduce public traffic congestion, etc., but also to make sure that they're not speeding and they're operating as we would reasonably expect a large organisation should be, which is compliant with legislation and regulations. So, and if we have an event where persons that are driving our vehicles are not operating within the bounds or perimeters of what we have as our standard business practices, and consumers see that, that starts to erode consumer confidence in that brand. And that can adversely affect our bottom line because that consumer may shift to a competitor and erodes our revenue. So all of those little 1%, as we call them, add up to a larger chunk about profitability and making sure that we run a tight ship so our customers expect what we will deliver is consistent day on day in a public marketplace.
And that's also linked back to the overall strategy of the organisation. So everything kind of sits in and underneath that.
Absolutely, you're so right.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, for your very valuable insights on technology today.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.